so sure that this is happening that it's not going to be an issue. I'm startled by how sure they are, how certain they are that by April 7th there's not going to be an issue.
Well, you keep saying not going to be an issue, Michael, which means it goes either way, that it's going to be lifted or that the players are all going to get vaccinated. Do they tell you that the mandate will be lifted, or they keep telling you it's not going to be an issue?
They talk around it. It's a great question, Don. They talk around it and they go, "It's not. Don't worry, it's not going to be an issue." And
the reason the specific reason for that is that they know that the players will eventually get vaccinated. Baseball, correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, because you follow this. Baseball, for the most part, has been a very apolitical sport.
Yeah.
All right, so these guys are not going to be like Kyrie. They're not going to be a voice for the voiceless. They just don't feel like getting it until they absolutely have to. They didn't have to last year, and technically they don't have to right now. But at some point, when they start losing money and they start losing game, like now maybe Judge doesn't care because he's going to get an extension during the season. But if he wants to fight and not take that extension and be missing half the games and not be eligible to become a free agent, if Judge is indeed one of those guys, and the reason we assume that is because he hasn't answered whether he is or he isn't, is Rizzo going to not get paid if he still has not gotten vaccinated? Or have these guys already been vaccinated and they're kind of just playing that role of why should I tell you? I didn't tell you before, I'm not going to tell you then, or plan on getting the needle before opening day.
It's funny, though.
And if they didn't get it by now, it's Tuesday. They may not be eligible for opening day.
But I did hear something last night that you could the way it works is if you get a vaccine and you promise them that you get the second one, that you would be able to go. You'd be able to play, I think. But we keep talking about the supposed Yankees, right?
Right.
That are not the Mets last year. Now the team has turned over a little bit. The Mets last year had fewer than 50% of their players vaccinated.
Yes.
So that's good. They might not even be able to field a team if those players still exist. Now, Lindor has said he's vaccinated. I don't know who else. Max Scherzer has said he's vaccinated. But I heard yesterday rumors. I'm not going to give rumors on the air, but there are some big-time Met stars that are not vaccinated.
So why aren't they being asked the way Judge is being asked?
I don't know. Because the Mets open a week later at home.
So?
Because then it becomes an issue when I guess they open on the 15th.
Peter, doesn't it feel like we're kind of getting played? I think they're all vaccinated already.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. They are not all vaccinated.
I would bet money Judge is vaccinated.
You would?
Yes.
What? Right now?
Because it was my theory from last week. I think he's trying to be a leader, and I think what he's trying to do is protect the guys that are unvaccinated by making it a thing that even vaccinated people tell you it's none of your business. And then when he goes there on opening day, then it'll look like, maybe people who say it's none of your business, maybe people who say that I'm not going to tell you, could still be vaccinated. He's got too much to lose. He is not that type of guy. He doesn't seem like to be a political guy. Doesn't seem to be that guy. I think he's already vaccinated.
I don't know.
Because how can he say it's not an issue?
He's not saying it's not an issue. People behind the scenes are saying it is not an issue.
Well, no, but what he said, the sound we played last week is I'm just focused on opening day. Well, how could you be focused on opening day when that's not even promised to you? So it is kind of our business when you're telling us that you're preparing for a game that you may not be allowed to play in. So I don't think he's not a dumb guy. He knows what he's saying. Listen, I could be dead wrong, and there's no way to prove it. I'm not going to say everybody. I believe everybody will be vaccinated in time for opening day or sometime around then. And if I had to bet, I'd say Judge is vaccinated.
I would never take that bet.
Me neither.
No way.
I'm with Michael.
I don't know what he is, but I wouldn't be willing to bet it.
I certainly wouldn't be able to bet it because, Michael, Judge has never done anything since he's been here to be a lightning rod in any way.
No. He's worked up the Jeter playbook.
Personality. Yeah, he's a Jeter guy. He keeps it all close to the sleeve. I think if he's vaccinated, he comes right out, or people at least know he's not even asked about it. I think he's not vaccinated.
But here's my logic. Again, this is a guy that's going to be, once he signs that extension, I wouldn't be surprised within the next year he gets named the captain of the team. You don't think that's a great leadership move? He knows there's significant players unvaccinated, and those guys don't want to say anything. And for him to be vaccinated and be along with them by not saying anything, you can understand the logic behind that. Because, again, how could you be an intelligent man and say, I'm not focused on that right now, I'm just thinking about opening day, when opening day is not promised to you by the question that's being asked in the first place?
But maybe the people that a lot of us are hearing are so certain are telling him, don't worry about it.
No, but how? But honestly, how would that look as a leader? And I'm not even taking a side on the mandate.
But Don, we don't know what goes on in the halls of justice.
That emphatic about it, and then next week lift it when the numbers might actually spike.
It's a great point. He's going to look really bad because he is really digging in, and if all of a sudden he lifts it, and if you're the Nets and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has decided to lose $16 million, but he did lose $16 million, and then you're going to lift it in time for baseball season? You don't think the Nets are going to be a little chapped?
No, I can't see how Adams could save face by lifting the mandate. And I'm not saying that should be his motivation either way. He should follow the science, as he said. But following the science when the numbers have never been lower and now could potentially spike with the new variant that's in the tri-state area, how do you lift it then? And it's like you said, Michael, you wouldn't lift it for Kyrie. Why? Because it's the Nets and it's basketball, but this is almighty baseball and we have to have them play? That would be so unfair to Kyrie and all basketball players that got vaccinated because they wanted the chance to play. And the numbers were worse then than they would be now. I can't imagine that he would lift it. And they can't go to court. That's already been done. So how can anybody within baseball believe that this is going to be lifted in time for April 7th?
Let's go to Justin in North Arlington. Justin.
Hey guys, first time call, long time listener.
Welcome aboard.
So I have a question. I kind of want your thoughts on this about the Kyrie Irving situation. Although I do believe part of the issue is the vaccination, him not wanting to get vaccinated, I also think it comes from his history of injuries over the years. And I think that's part of the reason why he may also not choose to get the vaccination, because he wants to be able to stay healthy. And he may think the best way to stay healthy is by only playing half the season, and even into the postseason only playing half the games away, and giving them the best chance to win the championship. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think Kyrie is crying over the fact that he didn't play every single game. If this vaccine wasn't an issue, he probably wouldn't have played every single game. There would be load management. He has a history of missing some games. But you're saying giving a better chance. If he doesn't play half the playoff games, they're not winning. They're not winning a series. They're not.
I can't imagine.
There's just so much that Kevin Durant could do, and he is. You know how I feel about Durant. He's just an amazing player. There's so much he could do. He's going to need some help. And it doesn't look like Ben Simmons is giving him help.
Ben Simmons may not
year.
play until the playoffs.
He might not play in the playoffs. Let's go to Mel in New Jersey. Mel.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hey, Mel.
I think the mayor have a real big problem over here because, it's not just about Kyrie or the baseball players. New York is a huge city, and, a spread could happen quick in the school or at a job, so I understand why he wanted to have workers be vaccinated before they could come in. But and the fact that random people could come in without being vaccinated is a huge problem. But
right.
I think that but I think that the focus on Kyrie and the other players is a little bit too much, because why Kyrie is actually doing this is for the people who already lost their jobs and can't get their jobs back and whatnot. So, when players boycott, I feel like sports media, they put it on the players instead of keeping it on the real issue. And every time, and this is brought up every day, so I agree with Kyrie doing this, because now the conversation is always being brought up every single day.
Well, that's a fair point, Mel, but totally. Remember, he did this, and he's been doing this since, and 14,000 people have lost their job. 14,000 people, I believe. And I think that's the issue about taking this mandate away. You can't give those people their jobs back. Is it 14,000 or 1,400?
I think 1,000.
All right, 14,000 people have lost their job. Those jobs have been filled. So you cannot give them their jobs back. You don't think those people are going to be red hot? Mayor Adams, that's also the people he represents. So that is the big issue right here. That's the big issue. And this is a dumb rule. And when they wrote the rule, the fact that outdoor baseball players can't play if they're not vaccinated is stupid. It's stupid.
And Michael, it's 1,400.
How much is it? 1,400. All right.
Okay.
And the fact that a visiting NBA team could have an unvaccinated player play in Barclays Center, and an unvaccinated person, like Kyrie, could sit in Barclays Center. It's asinine. It doesn't make sense. That's where it all went awry.
I know, but it's almost as if you're having, you're having a party, right? And a bunch of Callie invites all of her friends over, right? But Callie's punished, is not allowed to have any cake, and all the other kids are having cake. It's like, well, why is it fair the kids are having cake? Callie's not having cake because you can control Callie. You can't control the other kids. That's what it comes down to. It looks silly, but it's controlling what you can control. But could there be a loophole in this, Michael? And you said that Randy Levine may try to negotiate it to where it's, all right, listen, I understand there's a mandate. Don't allow these players in the clubhouse. Don't allow these players to deal with the media. At least let them play. And then we'll figure some way. Maybe they dress in a separate area. Maybe they dress outside, whatever. We'll construct some kind of outdoor thing like they did with the dining. Like, is it possible that they can get around this mandate by letting them play, but not letting them be indoors? And then that could be the separation between baseball and Kyrie. Well, Kyrie would be playing indoors. Let the baseball players play outdoors, but not allow them to be with their teammates, not allow them to be in meetings, and don't allow them to be indoors during the course of the game. Can they find a way around that?
I guess they're going to look for some kind of loophole. And if anybody could figure out, knowing him, it's Randy Levine, and he certainly knows the levers of power in City Hall, having been the right-hand man of Giuliani throughout his mayoral term. But so it's okay down here in Florida. They're dressing in the same clubhouse. They were unvaccinated last year. They dressed indoors. It's a dumb rule. It's a dumb rule.
Right, but what I'm saying is he's not lifting the mandate, but at least acknowledging, well, if it's outside and these guys could play outside, then let's just take out the inside element for the unvaccinated. And that would be an easy thing to fix.
But then Kyrie,
create a tent outside.
Kyrie raises his hand and goes, whoa, wait a minute. I can come into the Barclays Center. I could be in the locker room before the game, but I can't play. That's fair? I mean, the whole thing's unfair. And then if you lift the mandate completely, the 1,400 people that lost their job are going to be red hot.
So like we worked out with the outdoor dining, is there a kind of outdoor dining answer to allowing the baseball players to play? And then the difference is, well, they're playing outside as opposed to inside. I know it all sounds silly, but that to me would be the only way they can play and the mandate stays in place. Adam saves face by saying, I didn't lift the mandate, but at least we, found some wiggle room and found a way to make it work. The same way we did with the restaurants in New York.
Laura Albanese, who's done a great job covering this for Newsday, she tweeted out, the mayor's office and the health commissioner have not said why Kyrie Irving is not allowed to play when he's allowed to practice at the Net Sunset Park facility. Health commissioner's office told Newsday they would have a response by last Friday, but have not provided one. You know why? There's no rational explanation for it. He can practice with them indoors in Brooklyn, but he can't play indoors in Brooklyn, but he can attend the game indoors in Brooklyn. You make sense of it. We'll be back.
With Volkswagen, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the joyful 2022 Taos. Limited inventory available.
Meet the Monteros. They like to multiply their wins. They're 5-time state champion foosball players, 15-time regional champion crossworders, 20-time national blue ribbon yodelers, and 200-time rock, paper, scissors international gold medalists. That's why they play the X Series family of scratch-off games from the New York Lottery, so they can multiply their wins up to 200 times. Meet the Multiplier family for a chance to win our biggest prize yet, $10 million.
My F is for the people. I made it just for you. For the seasons who like action. For the seasons on the move. And don't forget the season reward.
This seems dangerous, sir.
I know.
Too much?
No, Pat.
Kyrie Irving. He
With Volkswagen, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about the versatile 2022 Tiguan. Limited inventory available.
Last road game, Kyrie was epic.
60! Kyrie Irving.
Tomorrow, two of the most electrifying players on the planet face off as Kyrie Irving and the Nets.
You think he's feeling it? Oh, yeah.
Take on Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. Coverage starts tomorrow at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app.
These are actual COVID survivors.
My daddy, this virus made a hole on his lung. He passed away on December 27th.
The first one that went into the hospital was my father-in-law. The second person that went in was my mother-in-law. And then I went into the hospital.
On our birthday, we got together to say goodbye to my mom.
She literally dropped me off at the entrance of the hospital. And we had to say goodbye. And you don't know if that's gonna be the last time. When you get COVID, it feels like you aged like 15 years in one day. When are you gonna take it serious? You know when it's gonna take it serious? When it happens to you. Love is gonna get us out of this, and part of that love is, you know, getting vaccinated, wearing the masks, and socially distancing.
Call the COVID-19 hotline at 1-800-232-0233.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with 0 due at signing, 0 down, and 0 security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
Riders, let your queries be known.
Yeah, hi. Instead of letting passengers wrap their arms around us, can we put little handles on our jackets?
Deny.
Can you imagine?
I want a new nickname. Can you guys start calling me Snake?
No, Brian. Denied.
How about we all get quotes to see if we can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer?
Approved.
Cool. Hey, if Brian's not going to be Snake, can I be Snake?
No.
Bro trip. If you book with Priceline, you'll save more, so you can bro more.
Bro. 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 Bro.
Bro.
Bro.
Good thing you saved on the trip. Priceline. Every trip is a big deal.
Oh, man.
What's wrong?
I bought my car from some guy online, and it has a huge nick on it.
So use Vroom.
Vroom?
Vroom. Vroom.
Vroom?
Yeah, they have detailed listings on thousands of cars, so you know exactly what you're getting.
Never deal with annoying surprises again.
That's not gonna buff out.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Buy your car entirely online on Vroom.com.
The game is connection, opportunity, where we find confidence and community. But not everyone gets the same shot. And we should all have the right to experience the gift of the game.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with 0 due at signing, 0 down, and 0 security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
My goodness! Kevin Durant, nothing is too tough for KD. Kevin Durant, cold-blooded.
The most ridiculous offensive talents that this league has ever seen.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
Chris Sharon back here in our Yes Network studios. When the men and women wrap up college basketball's 21-22 season, the eyes of the sports world will turn to a couple of traditions unlike any other. Of course, one of them is America's pastime, baseball, and the other, the Masters. And this year we won't see a lot of the past champions, including Phil Mickelson. It will be his first time not participating since 1994. Here's a look at all the gentlemen fitted for a green jacket who will not be competing in this year's edition. Now, we should note that Tiger Woods still hasn't made a decision on whether or not he will tee it up this year. That's why he's not on that list. Back to Lefty now. He has won 6 major championships in his career since turning professional in 1992. Remember, he hasn't missed the Masters since 1994, as we just mentioned. He has won 3 green jackets in 04, 06, and 2010, 2 PGA championships in 2005 and last year, and 1 British Open title back in 2013.
It's game time, everybody. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Now, we have the Islanders and the Senators tonight, 7:30 puck drop. We have the Rangers and the Devils, and that's a 7 o'clock puck drop, 6:30 pregame on 10:50.
Ray-Row.
And then Don does a play-by-play starting at 7. So we're excited about that. And then we have the Knicks playing. Knicks and the Hawks, so if the Knicks hold out any hope whatsoever, this is a game they have to win. But Julius Randle not playing today because of an injury. It's a 7:30 start, 7 o'clock pregame here on 98.7. 7:30 is the tip-off, and you could watch it on TNT. And we gave you the news at the beginning of the show. We are proud to announce that we have come to an agreement on an extension of multi-years for 98.7 ESPN to continue to be the broadcast home, radio home of the Knicks and the Rangers. So we're happy about that. And that is Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. During the big games this season, enjoy Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Remember, when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please, please, please enjoy responsibly. We have a little passing gas here.
Sorry?
Jeff Passan tweets out that the Mets and Pete Alonso are in agreement on a 1-year, $7.4 million contract, avoiding arbitration. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN. There you go.
All right, so...
Which leads us into this discussion, which I'm going to toss into the lap of Donald Marco LaGreca.
Yes.
Mets have made some dynamic additions, mostly through the free agent market. And the 2 biggest, I think, are Max Scherzer and Buck Showalter.
Mm-hmm.
Are they a playoff team right now, Don? Or we'll start off with, are they going to win the National League East? And then are they a playoff team?
I think they have an excellent chance to win the division. I think they are definitely a playoff team. I'd be disappointed if they weren't, especially with the extra wild card. You know, you take a look around Major League Baseball, and I think the Giants and Dodgers certainly are playoff teams based on what the Giants did last year, but the Rockies and Diamondbacks are not. Central Division, you know,
Cardinals,
Reds, Cubs, you know, they're out.
Cardinals, Brewers.
Cardinals, Brewers are probably the 2 top teams there. All right, so want to get a wild card, and then you look at the Phillies. I think are improved, so there'll be a battle. There are 3 legit teams and maybe a 4th, but I would be very disappointed if they weren't a playoff team. And I was talking about this with Andrew during the break, Michael. I think you can make the case that this is one of, if not the best teams that Buck has had. I mean, really, the only one I think that could rival it would be the 95 Yankees that went to the playoffs and almost went to the league championship series.
I don't think the 94 Yankees, the best Yankee team he had. And then I think he won 100 games with the Diamondbacks in the second year. That was a good team, too.
They ended up winning a World Series the year after he left, just like the Yankees did the year after he left. But, and listen, this is no offense to Terry Collins. He was an excellent manager, got the Mets to the World Series. But did you really feel like, we got an advantage because he's one of the best managers in baseball? I thought he did a terrific job managing the egos and all that. But I look at Buck and I say, this is one of the best managers in baseball. And I think they'll have an advantage over a lot of teams just because he's in the dugout. Especially in a sport now that isn't driven by a lot of in-game decisions, and if they are, it's all analytical. I think Buck gives the Mets an advantage, don't you?
That's the thing, because how much in-game managing plays a role night in, night out over 162 is questionable. We all know that, lineup decisions and gut and things like that of course, will play a part if you go on a championship run. But over the course of 162, Don, it's not really about all the decisions because analytics are so big. It's about the culture. And Showalter, by all accounts, is just someone who really gets on with everybody. So I think it's a huge advantage.
I think the culture change is going to be big. I don't look at them and say they're a complete team, though. They've got some redundancy in their roster. What are you doing with Robinson Cano if he's not your second baseman? Does that mean he's going to start at the DH rather than Dominic Smith, who's younger? It might be better. I mean, Robinson's 39. Are you okay at third base? Are you okay with what you're doing at second base? Is your outfield good enough? I mean, I thought that the Mets probably were going to add an outfielder. They decided not to. I love the fact that they added Bassett. So the top three in their starting rotation, damn good. Their bullpen still scares me a little bit. The addition of Ottavino was nice. Chasen Shreve was nice. Do you believe fully in Edwin Diaz, who, by the way, has pitched very well the last 2 years?
No, he has. And I think that you now have ownership that will be aggressive during the course of the season. If the bullpen's not working, they will go out and try to find a way to acquire somebody. Fangraphs has the Mets, Michael, with the third highest percentage to make the postseason. The Braves at 85.2. Or excuse me, the fourth, because the Dodgers are 95.1. The Braves are 85.2. Brewers 82.1. Up there, yeah, the fifth, because I'm sorry, they're going by division here. Brewers the favorite to win the division. Of the teams that aren't favored to win the division, the Mets have a 72.4% chance of making the playoffs, bested only by the Padres, 73.1.
And you wonder, the Padres, when that was done, Padres are going to be without Tatis for three months.
Yeah, so that certainly can affect things. And then there's a distinct drop-off from there. Phillies are 64.9, and then everybody else is under 50%.
Does that surprise you, Don, that they have the Padres as a better chance to make the playoffs than the Giants? By a lot. They have the Giants at 46.9%, Padres 73.1%.
You know, watching the Giants all of last year, the Giants were kind of like the Knicks were last year. That was a surprise. And the Padres were a surprise the other way, how disappointing they were. Now, maybe those percentages were done before Tatis got hurt. But the Padres, I think, are a better team than the Giants. A lot of things clicked for the Giants last year. So I don't want to say it was a fluke because I still think they could be good enough to make the playoffs. But to go right down to the wire, competing with the Dodgers for the division, that's not going to happen again. I give the Padres a little bit of a better chance. But based on those numbers, Michael, I wouldn't you, if you were a Met fan, be disappointed if they missed the playoffs, especially with the extra wild card?
Not only Met fans, I think Steve Cohen would be red hot.
Well, and I think that, yeah, and listen, under Wilpons, you'd be upset. All right, Cano really shouldn't be playing, but with all that money that he's making, we're going to make him the DH. If Dom Smith is the better DH, he'll be the DH. And if Cano sits, he sits. Now, that wouldn't have happened before because they got to justify the money, but do you think Cohen is going to force Buck Showalter to play Cano because he's making more money than Dominic Smith?
I don't believe there's anybody in the Met organization that will have any say over who plays except for Buck Showalter.
Right, and Buck's going to play the best lineup, right? Buck's not going to care how much money somebody's making.
No, this is a last chance saloon for Buck. He knows it. He's 65 years old. The one thing that's missing off his resume that would probably put him in the Hall of Fame is a World Series.
Yeah,
he's gonna manage the way he's always managed.
And we can debate it, but like you said, the one Diamondback team won 100 games. I guess that was the 2000 Diamondback team.
That was the one that lost to the Mets in the playoffs, right?
Well, that was 99 on the Pratt home run.
Okay.
So, so the 99 Diamondbacks, listen, we don't know what would happen in 94, but certainly 94, 95 Yankee. I mean, this is one of the two or three best teams he's ever managed.
He managed an Oriole team to an ALCS. They didn't win, but he managed them into it. Those were good teams.
I didn't think any of those Oriole teams were good enough to win. I mean, they could have beaten the Yankees. Was it who hit the home run? Was it Ibanez?
Raul Ibanez. Yeah. But those teams weren't great.
But but it shows you the difference he made. He turned a losing organization that didn't have great players into a perennial contender. And then it all fell apart at the end. And I think Dan Duquette deserves a lot of the blame, too.
Speaking of the Orioles, you see Chris Davis retired?
Yeah, he's still their highest paid player. Do you know that with the Reds breakdown, the fourth highest paid player on the Reds, do you know who it is?
The fourth highest
paid player on the Reds. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. You know, everybody
he's got one of those
the
Bonilla contracts.
And Davis does, and Ichiro does with Seattle. You know, everybody kills the Mets for the Bonilla thing, and it is embarrassing, but it's not. They're not the only team that has that. There's plenty of, now, obviously, Bobby Bonilla was no Ken Griffey Jr. and was no Ichiro. But there's plenty of teams that kind of had that type of a contract where guys are getting paid forever. I think, is Davis getting paid to like 37 or something?
Yeah, I think he's still getting paid off his contract, too, because he retired because of an injury.
Right. That was what, when you talk about the worst contracts in the history of anything,
and
even outside sports, is there a worse contract?
No, that's what started to sink them, because they couldn't absorb that loss and replace him with a good player, and they kept him on the roster. By the way, the 2014 Orioles, 96 wins, a pretty good team. Let's take a brief timeout. 1-800-919-3776. Rolling along here on a Tuesday. Big E and M coming up at 6, right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
To make the most of March on FanDuel Sportsbook, you really got to believe. You might believe in live betting or parlays. Feels good, don't it, to believe?
And the lead has evaporated.
But there comes a point where even the biggest believers stop believing. And that's cool, too, because with cash out on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can leave a bet anytime you think it's going south. Like I said, you got to believe to win in March. Until you don't. Both work.
New customers bet $5 and instantly get a $150 site credit bonus guaranteed.
Allergies just try to stop us being the greatest versions of ourselves. Allegra lasts up to 6 times longer than Benadryl. So trees, you won't take us down.
Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. So dust, you won't wipe us out.
And unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make us drowsy. So fur, you won't phase us. When allergies attack, take Allegra before your symptoms take over you. Live
your
greatness.
When you support City Harvest, you feed hope, love, and joy. You feed confidence, community, and comfort. You feed health, strength, and spirit. When you support City Harvest, you do more than just provide hundreds of millions of pounds of food to millions of hungry New Yorkers. You feed good. Support us at cityharvest.org.
For every sport, there's a business behind the sport.
The total of that plus operation was $100,000 a day.
Forbes Sports Money goes inside the numbers.
I took the deal in equity.
To explore the financial side of the game.
It's been very successful for us.
Forbes Sports Money. New episodes every month right here on Yes.
Did you know half of all cats in the United States don't see a vet on a regular basis? Hi, I'm Kat Dennings, and I love cats. Like, really, really love them. Seriously. That's why I'm here to ask you to take your cat to the vet each and every year. I'm working with Royal Canin and Orphan Kitten Club in their program, Mighty Cat, the first grant program in the world to protect and care for newborn kittens. For the Take Your Cat to the Vet initiative, which encourages cat owners across the country to schedule annual vet visits.
Since it's tricky to decode our cat's behavior, it's super important to collaborate with your veterinarian to uncover any potential illnesses and learn the signs that something could be wrong.
As pet owners, it's our responsibility to make sure cats of all ages have a chance to live a full and happy life by providing the care they need and deserve.
Visit orphankittenclub.org/mightycat to learn more.
Caleb Gardner tweeted, "Can someone please explain Untuck It to me? I just don't understand the positioning. Shirts designed to be worn untucked have existed for a long, long time. Mr. Gardner, respectfully, there's a difference between a shirt that can be worn untucked and a shirt designed to be worn untucked. You could use a leaf blower as a hairdryer.
You can use a shoe as a pillow. But wouldn't you rather have something designed specifically for what you need it for?
Find your shirt today at untuckit.com.
Did your job give you mesothelioma or lung cancer? If you had occupational asbestos exposure and now have mesothelioma or lung cancer, you may be entitled to claim some of the $30 billion in asbestos bankruptcy funds, even if you smoked. Call Whites & Luxembourg today. They are the New York law firm who's won the state's highest verdicts for your colleagues and neighbors in their asbestos cases.
Mesothelioma or lung cancer victims, call 800-299-5600. That's 800-299-5600.
We started Warby Parker to make glasses more affordable. But then we thought, why can't we do the same thing to contacts? So we did. Shop top contacts brands without the hidden fees, plus get free shipping and save 15% on your first order of contacts at warbyparker.com. When it comes to contacts, Warby Parker offers dozens of brands, including Scout, our very own comfortable, breathable, and affordable daily lens. Learn more about Scout or save 15% on your first order of contacts at warbyparker.com.
Eleanor steals your heart. She was diagnosed at 5 weeks old, a type of leukemia, and it's associated with Down syndrome. She's been fighting against the odds since the day she was born. Talking to the doctors and nurses, they were on top of it. They got this, we got this, it's gonna be okay, and we're gonna get through this. Here, it's like a celebration of life. There's so much great stuff happening. The doctors and nurses are her best friends, and you can tell that they love her, and you could tell she loves them, and that relationship is just amazing. We're just so grateful for them.
Hungry for a binge watch?
I'm ready to eat, yes.
Feast on the first season of Home Plate New York on the Yes app.
Your journey, your story.
Pull up a chair and chow down.
Manja, manja, manja.
With Chef Marcus Samuelson and some of New York's biggest stars.
Unity, mate, bringing everyone together. This show is all about celebrating New York. Incredible, great diversity in our city. It just reminds me so much of growing up.
Stream the entire season of Home Plate New York exclusively on the Yes app.
It's Whitey 4 days until opening day at Yankee Stadium when the Bombers take on the Red Sox to open up the 2022 season. And we here at Yes have you covered as usual. When you sit down to opening day breakfast, we'll be on the air at 9 o'clock with Yankees on Yes. Welcome to opening day. That first show will take you to 11 o'clock in the morning when the pregame show takes over and brings you all the way to the pageantry that begins in the Bronx a little before 1 o'clock. That's our opening day coverage, just 16 days away, April 7th, beginning at 9 and continuing through until the starting lineups before game time a little after 1, right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
This 98.7 ESPN Hoops preview is brought to you by Covers.com. Sports bettors, make Covers.com your home for college basketball all tournament long. Winning starts at Covers.com. Our good buddy John Rothstein had some real nuggets that I wanted to relay to you.
All right.
The average age of Duke's starting five is 19.
Ooh.
The average age of Texas Tech starting five is 22. They play each other. St. Peter's is the third 15th seed to reach the Sweet 16. The others, Oral Roberts in 2021, Florida Gulf Coast in 2013, did not qualify for the Elite Eight. No 15 seed has ever reached the Elite Eight.
I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling it.
Do we have a spread?
Sure we do. Let's take a look here.
While he's looking, Bill Self is 9-3 in his career in Sweet 16 games. Two of the three losses, Michigan State in 09 and Michigan in 13, came at Kansas by a combined 7 points. The Michigan loss came in OT.
The line for St. Peter's on Friday night, 7:09 CBS. St. Peter's, the 15 seed, is a 12.5-point dog against Purdue, the 3 seed.
And what?
Pick 'em.
They were an 18.5-point dog against Kentucky. What were they against Murray State? Does anybody remember?
8.5, maybe.
Okay.
But by the way, how telling is it about what people love about the tournament that the CBS primetime is St. Peter's Purdue?
It's all about storyline.
It's all storyline. Michael, the game after that on CBS is UNC UCLA,
which is
but in game one,
mega sexy matchup.
Oh, my God. And in game one, they believe the sexiest thing they could have put on TV was not Providence, Kansas, or Iowa State, Miami.
On TV.
It's St. Peter's.
Now,
it's huge.
Ian Begley reporting, Julius Randle has been dealing with soreness lately and is considered day-to-day, aren't we all? Randle just needs rest to help heal the ailment, Tom Thibodeau said.
So he's definitely out tonight.
He's definitely out tonight. Needs to heal the ailment.
And listen, I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation about them getting back into this, but, you know, they can pick up a full game. They're playing the team they're chasing.
Let's go to the phones.
So they can get within 4 with 10.
Right.
I think. So, good luck.
Let's go to Kevin in New Jersey. Kevin.
Guys, how you doing? I'm calling because Don's take on the last segment was just so bad. I was on a run, and I'm thinking, baseball is outdoors. It's air. Like, we don't have to follow the science here. It's not a no-brainer. Of course, baseball players should be able to play. It's air.
Well, what was my take that was so off?
The take was so off before about Judge has to get vaccinated or he's vaccinated and he's going to be a leader. Don, these people care about their bodies. They're not going to take advice from you, a person who literally reads a promo on Pfizer during the commercials. I mean, it makes no sense, man. Like, these are
So do you
professional
think
athletes.
that he will – I'm asking you a question, all right? Do you think that he is going to miss half the games and also forfeit free agency next year?
Don, he has FU money, and if he doesn't have it now, he's going to obtain it. He doesn't care. Just like Kyrie doesn't
every
care.
athlete has it. Why is Kyrie the only one in New
York?
York?
Losing $10 million, and that's like $10,000. They're multimillionaires.
But Kevin, you're saying, Kevin, you jumped me down, and you're saying that these people. So all the other 95% of the athletes that took the vaccine, they don't care about their body.
But you really truthfully believe that Tom Brady, a guy who doesn't have green stems on his vegetables or his fruits, is going to take a vaccine? Come on, man. They're doing it.
He did take it.
Come on, dude.
Tom Brady took it.
But
Brady got
the
Kevin's saying he doesn't believe it.
Of course.
This, by the way,
Kevin, your takes are way worse than mine. You're not even making any sense. Tom Brady's vaccinated.
Sorry, bud. And also, by the way,
try again.
I got
your mom take notes next time. So
I got to explain something about bleep you money. Judge doesn't have it yet.
No.
Go look back at what Judge has made so far. He may have bleep you money to me, you, and Don, but he doesn't have bleep you money to the rest of baseball.
And he doesn't
Not
have
even
the
close.
money, bleep you money, commensurate to the talent that he has.
Well,
or that he hasn't gotten it yet.
Right.
If he doesn't care what people think, and he's got all this bleep you money, then why wouldn't he just say to the camera, I'm not vaccinated? So obviously he cares enough about what people think. He understands how polarizing it is. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong either way. I'm making a prediction. I'm giving my opinion. He obviously was somebody that was anti-vax. Good for him. But stick to the facts. Tom Brady was vaccinated, and he uses Tom Brady as an example on somebody who doesn't want to put anything foreign in his body. In order to make that work, Kevin, you've got to come up with somebody that's unvaccinated.
Well, he's saying
just
that
Carson Wentz.
But he was intimating that the NFL let it slide, that there's no way that Brady would say. He has no proof of it.
So we're going to go with conspiracy theories, a way to make a point. You can't win an argument with a conspiracy theory, Michael.
I agree, although Oliver Stone made a movie out of one.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to use JFK and confuse it with a documentary, are you?
Some people might.
Well, and you know what those people are called?
Dumb.
Morons. Clown shoes.
I also love the argument.
Shoe has a function. It goes on your foot. See, that's the thing with a clown shoe. A clown shoe actually protects the foot. It functions. It actually has a purpose. It serves a purpose. Morons serve no purpose. They don't forward life. They don't educate people. They just suck air. So it's worse than worthless. They actually have zero function And so a clown shoe actually is better than a moron. So when you say clown shoe, you're complimenting Kevin.
I look at it this way. And I always have to preface it because I don't want to get flooded, on Twitter. You have the right to do what you want. But please don't play that. These are athletes. Some of these guys inject steroids into their body. They take pain-killing injections constantly.
Right.
And this is where they draw the line. This mRNA vaccine. This is where they say, nope, not this. I'll take roids.
Right.
Yeah. I'll take painkillers galore. Yeah. I'll try to run in, by the way, when I get a concussion in football and try to fool the doctor so that I can get through the protocol. But this is where I draw the line. Come on, man. Yeah. Really?
Well, that was the thing that got me so annoyed with, besides his condescending tone and everything else about him since he's been born until now.
Wow, that's a long ride.
Is that you're telling me the line is the vaccine? That's the sign of being healthy. Because if we said, hey, I really think Aaron Judge is going to have a Whopper for dinner every night this summer, I'd expect him to go, dude, do you know Aaron Judge's body's a temple? He's not going to have fast food every single night of the season. That's what he acted the vaccine is like.
Well,
he believes the vaccine has no potential that it could be good for someone who's healthy. It is only 100% poison that you're injecting.
Well, Kevin said he was out for a run. Hopefully it's off a short pier.
Oh, wow. All right, let's towel off. It's getting aggressive right now. We'll come back for ENN. Hopefully everybody will be calmed down. Kevin could sit there and snicker and go, I got on the phone and I made that point.
My life was made. My life was made.
Right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with zero due at signing, zero down, and zero security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
I want all of this in my Caesar Sportsbook and Casino app.
Yes, Caesar.
You know what we should put in the app? Slot machines.
Yes, Caesar.
We need this.
Yes, Caesar.
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
oh, I gotta have that. That'll be awesome. And see that back
yes,
there?
Caesar.
I need that too.
Yes,
Caesar. I need it all for my Sportsbook and Casino app. Oh, my Sportsbook and Casino app is gonna be amazing. How about this? I want that.
Yes, Caesar.
I want this.
Yes, Caesar.
And I need this. Can I have this?
No. You can't have food in an app, Caesar.
Well, let's work on it then. Let's make my dream a reality.
Yes, Caesar.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you. That's what I hope for.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home acing it. Our convenient options are ready in as little as 15 minutes and way quicker than takeout. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple. Get $90 off when you sign up at homechef.com.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at iTrustCapital.com.
Volkswagen has an SUV that's the perfect match for your lifestyle. Whether it's head-turning style, room for your entire family, a turbocharged joyride, or an all-electric experience. With our SUV lineup, any choice is a smart choice. More vehicles are arriving all the time. Visit your Tri-State Volkswagen dealer today to learn more about our vehicle lineup.
My name is Lolly, and I'm a franchisee with Domino's. Growing up, I always loved Domino's, but I never imagined I'd own my own store. I started working part-time at 17 and worked my way up to owning and operating 2 stores by 27. Promotions can happen quickly if you work hard and learn the business. Like me, 95% of our franchisees started out as delivery drivers or store employees. If you want to make money and have fun while doing it, you won't find a better opportunity than your local Domino's. Apply today, and maybe someday you'll also own a Domino's.
The crowd plays, fueled by the play of the floor.
2-on-1 developing. Get on up!
This crowd seems to feel the energy in this building.
Timing for the lead. He got it! And this crowd fired up. It has been a terrific crowd tonight at Barclays Center.
For every sport, there's a business behind the sport.
Look at the impact.
Forbes Sports Money. New episodes every month, right here on Yes.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive an all-wheel drive Santa Fe with zero due at signing, zero down, and zero security deposit. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event ends March 31st.
Right here, baby. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
You're watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to ENN.
On Tiwi.
Which tonight is brought to you by my friend DoorDash. That's right. Download the DoorDash app now and start exploring some of the best New York has to offer. DoorDash. Get more from your neighborhood. I'd like to start off today's program by saying good evening to Michael.
Everybody's getting K-Love this year.
And good evening to Don.
Morons serve no purpose.
And to Michael.
See, there's a big difference, Troy.
And to Don.
Bill James is the father of analytics.
George Washington was the father of our country.
And to Don one more time.
I'm easy, just like you.
And to myself. He once called me a meatball. And lastly, to Michael and myself. Can I see?
No, you can't.
All right. That is really sad, what you hear at the end there, Don. Can I see?
No, you can't.
All right. Just a beaten man. You know?
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Everyone settle down.
Hold your horses.
All right, guys. Let's get to a story that we did not have time to get to yesterday during ENN, but I teased it earlier.
Yeah.
In saying I was really looking forward to getting into this conversation today. And that would, of course, be the story of Urban Meyer. You guys familiar with his work in Jacksonville?
You made it sound like Chris Myers was saying it.
Urban Meyer. Reports keep coming out about Meyer's time in Jacksonville.
We call it nozzle time.
Yeah, and it's not getting better. No one was surprised when he was fired. Obviously, the team was terrible. There was controversy because he was dancing with a woman who was not his wife at a bar. But now, according to new reports from The Athletic, it seems clear that something should have happened even earlier. It's being reported that Meyer was unfamiliar with some of the best players in the NFL, despite having said that he studied up. He said he conducted a 6-month deep dive on the NFL, and that included interviews with former players of his, as well as study of the salary cap. But according to sources, he was unfamiliar with players around the league, including Deebo Samuel.
Who's this?
Jamal Adams and Aaron Donald.
Hi, who am I speaking to, please?
Yeah, I think he said, who's his number? What's Donald's number? 90, right? Who's his 99, he said.
This guy's good. Who's that guy on the end? I don't like this guy. This guy looks scary.
You know who I blame, though? I blame the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
Do your homework. The guy didn't cover himself in glory at Florida. Remember, he had Aaron Hernandez there. And he didn't cover himself in glory in Ohio State, but they had to have him.
Well, listen, you know what they say. If you're not going to be great at your job, at least be unprepared.
Right. Don't work at it.
And if you're not going to be prepared, also make sure that you're out partying a lot and getting in trouble for talking to young women who aren't your wife.
Boy, that's a lot of rules to follow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And listen, he was wrong for what he did, but like when you said at the beginning of ENN, for dancing with somebody who's not his wife, she sounded very old-timey to me.
No, you're right. You're right. It does sound old-timey, but when you watch the video, as we all know, it's an indicator of a guy whose decision-making is horrible.
Of course.
But no,
you're
just
right. That statement, it's like if you were to say that, and oh, by the way, I saw Don dancing with somebody that was not his wife.
Well, by the way,
what year is it?
It sounds like it would be a rule implemented by the sheriff in 1830, and that sheriff's name would be Michael Kay, and he would report on the men who danced with people who are not their wives. Let's hear from Marcus Spears on First Take, who's not surprised about what we're learning about Meyer.
I'm not surprised. It's incompetence. And we saw Urban Meyer come into Jacksonville incompetent and not knowing what to do based on his hiring, based on the history of some of the coaches that he's been around, based on the Zach Smith incident in Ohio State. Like, this article, it's only more evidence to let people know Urban Meyer is who Urban Meyer is.
And I said this earlier, guys. The next big college football job that opens up, they're going to be slobbering all over themselves to get Urban Meyer because they don't care. Like the Browns don't care about all the accusations against Watson. The colleges won't care about Urban Meyer. I mean, this guy humiliated coaches in Jacksonville. Called them out in front of the team, said he was going to fire them. He told the team at one point, I'll cut every single one of you, and none of you will be able, I think he said something, you'll get $15 an hour jobs. Meaning they couldn't do anything else to earn a living other than football. He demeaned people. He coached professional athletes like they were college athletes, and you shouldn't even coach college athletes like that. This guy is just reprehensible.
Yeah. But like you said, he'll get another job in college.
And that should be the last place they should allow him.
I know, but he's really good there, so it won't be.
So crazy. Like, every day with football, we just learn I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way. But, Don, follow me here, okay?
Should I or not? I should lay out?
I just choose one of you.
Okay.
But, Michael, follow me on this, if you will. This is why, even all these years later, people like myself still get bent out of shape about Kaepernick. Because you just see that everything else that happens, we can get past. Everything. Everyone gets second chances, third chances, fourth chances, more money, guaranteed money, this one, that one. It's just one of the things that makes it really hard to swallow. By the way, I saw another report today about Kaepernick continuing to work out and reportedly impressing all kinds of people, media, NFL people. No one's officially gone to see him, but people who are, who cover the game and are around it. I don't expect anything. Were you serious about, was it really... Are they really going to be doing Jacoby Brissett? Is that really what they're going to be trotting out during the non-Watson games in Cleveland?
Well, that's who they signed. They signed him, presumably to be the backup quarterback, and the backup quarterback, I guess, is the one that's going to play.
Am I wrong?
Am I just suspended?
Am I just having a gap in my memory and not really remembering Brissett being a thing of regularity for the last couple of years?
Well, that's Brissett started with the Colts for a while.
Right, but that was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yep, and then, he obviously came up through the New England system.
Anyways, let's see. The Vikings.
He started 5 games last year for Miami, Peter. I'm sorry.
He did?
Yep.
I would not have ever gotten that.
Well, you should follow the sport better.
Whoa, wow.
Hold on.
Wow. I mean, hot take.
Andrew, did you know that he started 5 games for Miami last year?
I didn't remember that. No, I looked it up.
It's Anthony?
I know he played, but I don't know. I wouldn't have said 5 games with the Dolphins, no.
5 games seems strong.
That's it? Yeah, are you sure? Look at that again, please.
You don't trust me?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
The Vikings have landed Zadarius Smith, 3 years, $42 million for the Pro Bowl outside linebacker.
Now he's got that money that guy spoke about.
42?
He's got that, the guy Kevin.
Up to $47 million.
Let's forever call that phrase moron money.
No. But you're talking about Kevin. You're not talking about the money.
You're not talking about Zadarius.
No, but it'll be fun. We'll all be able to remember this. It'll be great.
Every time we talk about like someone getting that real deal, it's like, oh, now they got moron money. I like
morons serve no purpose.
Also, big news coming out of Rich Cimini.
Coming out of him?
Backup quarterback Mike White has signed his tender. He's sticking with the Jets, baby.
Why not?
Yeah.
He was good enough to beat the Super Bowl champions.
And beat them badly.
Badly.
They weren't Super Bowl champions, by the way, Sal. Runner-ups.
He was good enough to get.
True.
He was good enough to get appropriately compared to Josh Johnson.
I mean, remember, Jet fans wanted to be the quarterback moving forward. I remember those times so well.
Oh, sure. They might be back. The same thing can happen.
By the way, that's very, very, very true.
Oh, they should never start Zach Wilson again. Just let this guy ride it out. He's great.
Now, I'm so confused. Andrew, any idea why the Zach Wilson people are the same people who said, let's make some noise for ASAP Ferg? Anyone wondering that? Because for some reason, I haven't heard that voice, Don,
I know.
in 4 years. But what he just did was the ASAP Ferg voice.
Yeah.
Is there a tie-in, Michael?
No, it's just it comes out when it comes out. I have no control.
Wow. I think you know something.
Just comes out of you like a news story from Cimini.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. All right, the Bucks and Leonard Fournette have a deal. 3 years, $21 million.
So you're talking Tampa Bay Bucks, not Milwaukee Bucks. That's what you're saying.
That's correct.
Okay.
He is staying in football. I forgot to bury the lead. Leonard Fournette not becoming an NBA player. Okay. He's going to play with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Super. All I'm looking for is clarity, my friend.
God, doesn't it seem like running backs age in dog years? I can't believe Leonard Fournette's 27. I would have guessed he was 34 years old.
Right. It is so
like the way he's talked about, you feel like it's like, oh, that's nice for him that he was able to get another deal for 3 years.
It's almost like when you're drafted as a running back, you pick the college to go to. It's like in 4 years you're going to move on.
Right. Hopefully you get one more college. You go to grad school. Well, this is going to hurt you, Don.
Okay.
Hard to come up with that one, huh?
I had to think about it. Rafa Nadal is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a rib injury.
So is he going to miss what majors first? Wait, don't tell me.
Here we go.
Australian
You
Open,
know this.
Right?
No, well.
It's already been
Australian
played.
already happened.
Stop it.
I'll say, well, I was right.
It did already happen. Right, sure.
That's what happens.
You're right. No, you're right.
That's what happens
Emma
when you ignore
Raducanu. So what's next, Don?
No, didn't Nadal win the Australian Open?
Yeah, the Aussie already happened.
Yeah,
right,
but he's saying he was right. But Nadal won the Australian.
I was right that it's first.
He's right that it's first.
I just didn't know where you placed it. Happened already because that's kind of the byproduct of ignoring things.
And a sport.
Yes.
So you pretty much
next?
ignore you ignore tennis, golf, even if it was in your backyard.
But I still know things because I know next up is probably it's not. I would think next up is the French.
That's right.
Yes, and then Wimbledon, and then the U.S. Open. So I know enough to be able to respectfully have a conversation about it, but also hate it to the point where I'll ignore it exists. Well, I have that ability.
That's what makes you special.
Very special. It is.
Nadal, of course, the greatest performer ever at Roland Garros, trying to extend past his 14th title. No, this would be the 14th title, and build that lead even further. But may not happen now. This is exciting, Don. You will care about this. The Maple Leafs are set to wear a jersey designed by Canadian icon Justin Bieber.
Now, you know I love me some Biebs, okay? But the Maple Leafs have a gorgeous uniform, Don.
Right, and they just had their throwbacks because they used to be called the Toronto St. Pats. So on St. Patrick's Day, they wore the green.
Makes sense.
I saw it, and I don't care for it at all. It looked like it was designed by a 5-year-old. Now I know why.
Justin Bieber's not 5 years old, Don.
I know, but what does he call his what does he call his fans?
Does he have a fan thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Believers. Back in the day,
yeah,
they were Believers.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a story Bill Maher said on Real Time that when he went to visit the Anne Frank Museum or something, he signed the book that, hopefully if you were alive now, you'd be a believer. Like,
that's not true.
I've heard that story.
So, if that is a true story, he is 5. But doing very well.
Oh, he's doing great. He's a very tough.
But I saw the jersey, and I looked at it, and I'm like, what are they doing that for? It doesn't look that great. It's like,
can you describe it, Don? What is it like? Because the blue and white jersey is gorgeous.
No, it's gorgeous. They got I don't know. It's like yellow and green. It's
black and yellow, and it looks like an outline of a yellow leaf in the middle of a black jersey.
Interesting.
It doesn't really.
Yeah, it's like they stapled an actual leaf to the jersey. It's not great. But listen, he's an icon in Canada, and whatever.
Guys, Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington just can't seem to get enough of each other. Jorge just lost his rematch against Colby a couple weeks ago, and now they reportedly got into a fight at a Miami Beach restaurant.
Like fists?
Yeah, the victim has not officially been ID'd, but there's a TMZ video that shows Covington saying he was attacked. And according to police reports, the victim, unidentified, says he was sucker punched twice and suffered fractured teeth.
Fractured teeth, not just broken.
Fractured teeth is how I have it listed. Michael, I only read official police reports.
No, I get it. I'm just questioning what a fractured tooth is. I mean, is this like a line through it, or is it snapped in half, which would be a broken tooth in my business?
If it's in fact a true story, it's a sucker punch from Masvidal, then he really has problems. But, I mean, knowing Colby Covington's personality, it's possible they saw each other and a fight happened. But, I mean, guys, you literally can do this for a living. You need to do it inside a steakhouse.
Right. At least it wasn't out. Yeah, because if you're going to do it right, do it outside a haberdashery or something, right?
I had a steak last night, Don. You would have wept at Del Frisco Grill. Oh,
you know what?
Don, the Tyson reference was...
I put it on the barbecue. Just as good.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Peter.
The Tyson reference was not lost on me.
All right, thank you. I'm glad somebody caught it.
I wasn't letting you do that. But I mean, Masvidal, sometimes you just got to take the L. I mean, he lost convincingly last time.
My new motto is never take the L.
And you don't.
No.
I don't think this show does.
Never take the L.
Don't.
And believe me, you have a lot of L's, and we don't take them.
Now, guys, some L's were taken.
Yes.
It's time to get into our Hoops Update, which is brought to you by Superbook Sports. Place your bets at Superbook Sports, where they'll match you dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Visit Superbook.com to get signed up and place that bet. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And let's get into a little something we like to call Drop
That's
Badness
the way to get it a sponsor.
Results. Well, I made it a sponsor, Doug.
So good at this business.
Let's start in the Michael region.
Let's go to Ed in Waterford. Let me try that again. Ed in Waterford. I still didn't say it right. Ed in Waterford.
What?
What's up, Ed? Waterford.
Ed in Waterford getting the win as the 12 seed, the upset over the 5.
I love bunts.
Yeah, that was misseeded. That's not a 12.
That's the tough part. 'Cause I love bunts as a fun drop, you know, particularly for making fun of Michael in baseball. It's kind of like I love baseball. You know, it's beautiful. But tough matchup with Ed in Waterford. Also in the Michael region, another upset
That's
This
a poo-poo
time,
take.
Yeah, the 13 seed, poo-poo take. A 52-48 winner over the 4 seed.
We've always picked at 545. What exactly is the deal, Peter? What are we looking at in terms of voting?
Low 2000s.
Come on, babies.
2200,
Come on.
2155.
Come on, Carmi.
It's not enough.
The first round was like 3,000.
Now, here's the Peter region. We have a 5 seed winner. Turkey ducky.
That's who I voted for.
Over the 12 seed. Him and I are not fart bros. But there's some conversation that we may have a little upstart in the Peter region in the 4 seed who won big today, 79-21. Over the 13. That's great.
Nah, I hate to see that's great gone.
You know, a lot of people feel strongly about that's great.
That's like seeing Kentucky lose.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before. Let's go to the Don region where another upset, the 12 seed advances.
You're smoking bowls, man. You're smoking out of an apple.
Over the 5 seed.
That's
all right, how about that?
Love that one.
53-47. And Michael, you know the rules. You mention weed, you get a win.
Yeah.
People love drugs.
And if Don mentions weed, it's a tournament winner.
Right. Now we go to the next matchup in the Don region, which sees chalk. The 4 seed moving on 75-25. I'm sorry?
I flush it.
That's right. Who did Flush It beat?
Dead.
Underrated.
That's the right thing.
No, it's the right thing. It's the absolute right thing. So we head down to the Nether region.
On True
a big
TV.
matchup between the 5 and the 12. And the 12, what a huge day for the 12 seeds. The 12 seed advances again.
Or, you know what? Forget it. I'll go too soon.
Over Andrew's Dave Rothenberg impression.
Do I look good in this suit, huh? I mean, come on. How good do I look in this suit?
How close was that?
I felt bad for Andrew.
How close was that? Because I voted for that one.
It was 53-47.
Ooh.
Now, Andrew, I want to ask you a question. With the 12s dominating over the 5s, do you blame yourself, or do you just think that this is the way the voting
Definitely
went?
don't blame myself. First of all, for that one there, that 5-12, I'm proud of the 5 showing, considering Peter was on Twitter soliciting votes for Bear.
Yeah, what was that, Peter?
Oh,
that's so weak,
man. Oh, no.
People get arrested for soliciting votes, like within the voting area.
So for it to have been as close as it was, I think that's a moral victory for the Dave impression.
And Andrew, I don't think you talk to Peter the rest of the week. I think.
How does he do that? What was it? Peter really politicking like that? It runs in the blood, Don. That's what they did with McGovern. It didn't work.
I felt really strongly that was Bear's best bark drop. That's not even a top 3 Andrew Gunling Dave impression. I like the bark better. Okay?
Then what? But why did you have to try to sway the vote?
Yeah, you swayed it. Don't even try. He did.
I just wanted to let people know that Bear was in competition today.
That is not what you said. You were.
Well, I'm sorry. What did I say?
You said what you just said on air. Your tweet. It said that's not even a top 4 Andrew Dave impression.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not right.
Because I've been getting because I was mentioning it, so my phone's been lighting up with all the mentions of people saying that it's a bad impression. Bear's got to win. They're rubbing it in now. And for the other one, the other 12-5, the angry cough from Don, the people were just wrong. That dropped. That was my pick to win the entire tournament. And the people who voted for the drugs, it's lowest common denominator. It's wrong. The wrong drop won. And it's disappointing that happened.
So, in other words, much like Don had to do it over again, you do it again.
Yeah, I maybe the mistake was Angry Cough should have been a higher C. It should have been 4-3-2. Maybe I was unfair to where I placed it.
Andrew, you have the power. I don't know if you realize this to not certify the election.
I won't do that.
Well, you can do that with the politicking that he did, which is frankly illegal. If you want to just declare yourself the winner there,
I can disagree with the people, but ultimately it is the will of the people.
Well, you know what? There's going to be some voters storming the studio.
That is borderline inappropriate. Let's call it a day here and wrap things up with the last matchup in the Nether region, which sees chalk. As expected, Chris Carlin, the 4 seed, advancing.
What's Thanksgiving like at the Carlin house? Disappointing.
76-24 winner over the 13 seed. Summer of K.
I hate to see the doc go.
The voting continues tomorrow. That will do it for ENN, which is brought to you by friends over at Hennessy. Enjoy a delicious Hennessy NBA cocktail while watching the game. Try the Playmaker, the Hennessy Triple Double, both made with Hennessy VS. Go to Hennessy.com for drink recipes. Hennessy, spirit of the NBA. Always enjoy Hennessy responsibly.
All right, Don's going to say so long and do his hockey duties. And when we get back, there's some changes in baseball rules coming up. And one of them is absolutely stunning. My goodness. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And your phone calls as well, right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
Did your job give you mesothelioma or lung cancer? If you had occupational asbestos exposure and now have mesothelioma or lung cancer, you may be entitled to claim some of the $30 billion in asbestos bankruptcy funds, even if you smoked. Call Whites & Luxembourg today. They are the New York law firm who's won the state's highest verdicts for your colleagues and neighbors in their asbestos cases.
Mesothelioma or lung cancer victims, call 800-299-5600. That's 800-299-5600.
In this town, you've got to make your own way. Here we learn from our losses and we work to earn what we know in our hearts to be ours. Representing the greatest city in the world everywhere we go. Because we are New York City. Together, we are undeniable.
Tomorrow, on an all-new edition of Yankees Hot Stove, our baseball insiders break down the Bombers roster as we inch closer to opening day.
Go out there and, make this year special.
Plus, get the latest updates and interviews from Yankees camp in Tampa. Catch an all-new Yankees Hot Stove tomorrow after the Nets postgame on Yes and the Yes app.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
I let go of trying to control things that I had no control over. And that helped me find peace of mind.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
I was constantly stressed and worried. Now I approach each day with joy and gratitude.
In Al-Anon, families and friends of alcoholics find new ways to heal from the effects of a loved one's drinking.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. For information, call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
My F is for the people. I made it just for you. For the seasons who like action. For the seasons on the move. And don't forget the season reward.
This seems dangerous, sir.
I know.
Too much?
No, Pop.
You see, son, with a little elbow grease, you can do just about anything.
Thanks, Dad.
That's right, Robert.
And it's never too early to learn you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
That's right, Jamie. But it's not just about savings. It's about the friends we make along the way.
You said it, Flo. And don't forget to floss before you brush. Your gums will thank you.
That's right, Dr. Gary.
Jamie?
Sorry, I had another thought, so I got back in line.
What was it?
I can't remember.
It's one thing to build a truck,
it's another to build a legacy. This is the Ford F-150 truck, the only one with an available Pro Power onboard generator, the one with an available work surface in the front and in the back, and the only one that's part of F-Series, the best-selling pickups for 45 years straight and counting. Custom build your new Ford F-150 and get an extra $1,000 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
With you on ES. So great to be back here. Oh yeah, he can do it all. You bet that will do it. Star-studded matchup here on ES.
All right, so Joel Sherman had an exclusive story that, made me sit up and take notice. So baseball is going to allow, until the beginning of May, the roster to be 28 rather than 22. And that's because you're going to need more pitchers. Because the starting pitchers are just not going to be able to give you length, even less than they usually do. So the extra two players will probably be two extra relievers, Peter.
Right, because of the lack of spring training. Okay.
Right. So then when May starts, then I'll go back to the normal 26 and with a maximum of 13 pitchers, rather than teams loading up with 14 pitchers sometimes, which makes the games longer. The doubleheaders are back to 9 innings, which is good. There are no more 7-inning doubleheaders. This is the one I don't like, but they say it's only for 1 year because of possible injuries because of the short spring training. Manfred Mann is back, Peter, the ghost runner. An extra inning will start with a runner on second base.
The Fred man.
Yeah. So I don't like that, but the fact that it's supposedly just for 1 year, okay, I could live with it. I just think it's a dumb way to end a game. But because of the short spring training, they don't want lengthy extra innings. And this is the one that really surprised me. With the universal DH now in play, Joel Sherman of the New York Post is reporting that if a pitcher is also the DH in a game and the pitcher gets knocked out of the game, he remains in the game as the DH. And that, very simply put, is the Shohei Ohtani rule. And the reason they're putting that in, they want to promote more two-way players. Because I remember a game against the Yankees. The Angels came in the Yankee Stadium. I'm sure you remember this game from last year, Peter. Mm-hmm. Ohtani started. He was the DH. And he got knocked out with 2 outs in the first inning. He was terrible. It was probably his worst game of the year. Gave up 8 runs. The Yankees ended up losing that game, by the way. I remember that, too. But they lost it. The Angels lost their DH in the first inning. And that meant Joe Madden had to keep pinch hitting every time that spot came up for the pitcher. So that's gone. In order to promote more two-way players that can pitch and hit, the DH now does not leave the game when the pitcher is taken out of the game. So interesting. So of all those rules, the one I don't like the most is the ghost runner. But you live with it. And I think next year you're going to see more changes, and changes of significance, I would say, where there's going to be a pitch clock and things like that. The bases are going to be bigger, which means you'll get to it just a half a second quicker. It'll promote more stolen bases, but that's next year. These are the rules this year. 28-man roster until May. 9-inning doubleheaders are back. Manfred Mann, the ghost runner, is back. And the DH does not leave the game when the pitcher, if he's the DH also, leaves the game. So there you have it. All from Joel Sherman, your friendly New York Post correspondent. Let's go back to the phones.
The Ohtani rule, huh?
That's it. Imagine one rule for one man. It's one man.
Right now.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll work.
Let's see. I don't think there are that many people that are. I think the thing that makes Ohtani great is he's a unicorn. I'm sorry, there aren't many people that could do that. You look at what Ohtani did last year offensively. The only one that's ever done it is Babe Ruth. And Babe Ruth didn't do both at the same time for the most part. He pitched sometimes with the Yankees, very infrequently. But with the Red Sox, he was a pitcher and then hit some. He didn't hit every single game he pitched. And once he became a hitter, he didn't pitch. He pitched toward the end of his Yankee career, an occasional game. What Ohtani's doing has never been done. So they're essentially changing a rule for a unicorn that might not come again. But let's see if it promotes it. Let's go to Josh in the car. Josh.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, I could just say before my point, I was at that Yankee game. I sat down with my buddy, ready to see greatness. The guy was knocked out in 20 minutes. Very disappointing.
Oh, I remember announcing it, Josh, and I was like, I said, I was so pumped about seeing that game, and he had nothing.
I was also. He had nothing. And I was going to get to my point. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson. You look at Urban Meyer. We all know it's about the money end of the day. I mean, my favorite player in the NBA is Jason Kidd as a Nets fan. He did some pretty terrible things before he got to my team. But we're watching a sports game. I'm not saying that, it's the end-all, be-all. But, I mean, I vehemently don't like Colin Kaepernick, to be blunt with you. But I can admit that if he had Patrick Mahomes-like talent, he'd be on a team right now. He just comes with such baggage. He did something tremendous. I mean, it doesn't just go away. I mean, if he could really play football to that level, someone would take a chance on him and open the floodgates to everything that comes with it.
But, Josh, don't you think that a guy that took a team to a Super Bowl is pretty good? I mean, he's not Patrick Mahomes good.
Wasn't he also benched for the immortal Blaine Gabbert? I mean, I'm just being fair here.
I mean, that story is like sort of overtold because, yes, he was in and out that last season. But when you go look at the final season of San Francisco, a horrid franchise that year, by the way, he still has good numbers.
No.
I just think you're humoring yourself. I just think you're humoring yourself if you think it's like the difference here is that he's not good enough to contribute.
No, but what he's saying is that if he was great, if he's great, they would have brought him back.
That comes with it. I believe that John Mara said he got countless letters from season ticket holders saying, if you sign this guy, I'm out.
But, Josh, isn't that a referendum on people, though? So they don't get letters when they sign people that kill people as drunk drivers. A guy knelt for the national anthem and they're getting letters, you better not sign the guy. That's more a referendum on how people think.
Right. No, it's valid. So it goes down to my thing. It's about the bottom line. It's about pleasing the people. And if people don't like it, they're not going to do it unless the talent justifies it. So people keep acting surprised like that.
No, I believe that owners were afraid of the reaction of fans. I agree, Josh. But what I'm saying is that fans have no problem with guys that slap their wife around. They have no problem with people that killed somebody as a drunk driver and still got a chance to play. They have no problem whatsoever. Well, they had some problem with Michael Vick. But a guy kneeled for the national anthem, and that's just a bridge too far? I mean, people's priorities are a little screwed up.
And also, all these years later, we talked about this recently, like if it had been last year or this year, I think the baggage with Kaepernick would be much less than it was. And maybe if his argument is correct, the baggage would be minimized to the point that he could be worthwhile to bring in as a second quarterback.
I'd be surprised if he's brought in now, Peter. He's not played in a long time.
I understand. I'm just following what people are saying. When you see Schefter and these other names going out there saying that people are paying attention to it for a reason. Maybe it's because they're like me and they're rooting for him. They want it to happen. Or maybe it's simply because he still looks good. And when you look at the dearth of quarterbacks in this league, you just think, how not?
Let's take a brief timeout. We'll come back, finish up with phone calls, lead you right into the Knicks pregame as the Knicks will play the Hawks tonight. A little rematch of the playoff series that the Hawks won last year. And a pretty big game for the Knicks if they have any delusion about possibly getting into the play-in. They've got to win this game. It's Kay, Greca, Rosenberg, and you on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Nice.
Sweet.
Go big or go home.
What'd you say?
What's up? Get 2.49% APR financing for a full 60 months on a new 2022 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost service plan.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
What if you could use retirement accounts to invest in crypto? With iTrust Capital, you can. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in your favorite crypto assets 24/7 with the tax benefits of an IRA. So instead of paying taxes on your crypto gains every year, you can defer taxes till you retire using an iTrust IRA. Or with an iTrust Roth IRA, you can withdraw tax-free at retirement because you're in this for the long haul. Start investing today at itrustcapital.com.
When you order carryout online from Domino's, you're no longer just a customer. You're a delivery driver. Delivering a delicious order of Domino's to yourself. And we believe every great delivery driver deserves a tip. So we'll tip you $3 to use on your next order.
What was that?
Domino's tipped me $3.
That's not what I meant.
Get tipped when you order carryout online. Only at Domino's.
Let's go. Let's rock.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go for 2. We're going for 2 and 22. Ready to repeat.
Let's go.
Come on. The stars are out tonight.
This is so much fun to watch.
He put it into orbit.
Razzle dazzle. Oh, next level.
Oh, shut it down.
It's what champions are made of.
Baseball is back. It should be fun.
This is a fish. A clownfish, actually. He lives in a reef like this, in an ocean like this. This ocean contains these currents. These currents help carry fishing boats like these. Fishing boats like these bring their catch to port. Their catch is loaded onto this truck and delivered to this restaurant. This restaurant serves dinner to this family. This family drives back to their home. Their home borders this forest. This forest surrounds this creek. This creek trickles into this river down to these mangroves. These mangroves buffer the coastline from this bay. This bay is a hunting ground for this shark. This shark swims out to this ocean. This ocean flows over this reef. This reef is home to this fish. This is a fish, a clownfish actually.
Some hesitate when faced with a decision, but not you. Introducing the 2022 Telluride Nightfall Edition.
To make the most of March on FanDuel Sportsbook, you really gotta believe. You might believe in live betting or parlays. Feels good, don't it, to believe?
And the lead has evaporated.
But there comes a point where even the biggest believers stop believing. And that's cool too, because with cash out on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can leave a bet anytime you think it's going south. Like I said, you gotta believe to win in March. Until you don't. Both work.
New customers bet $5 and instantly get a $150 site credit bonus guaranteed.
Big Time Bats, along with billions around the world, stand with Ukraine. In an effort to help the brave Ukrainian people, Big Time Bats and Razom have released this I Stand With Ukraine full-size maple chrome bat. 100% of the net proceeds for these bats will be donated to Razom, a leading not-for-profit supporting the Ukrainian people with food and supplies. Go to BigTimeBats.com to purchase and support Ukraine, or see the link to donate to Razom for Ukraine directly.
Our road ends.
It has, Jessica.
Fantastic. The feeling that comes when you've paired the perfect treat with whatever you're streaming.
I choose your brother, Travis.
Are you kidding?
Oh, but it's the truth, though. All these extravagant gifts, and then what?
Pizza. When the pie you know and love is still the pie you know and love.
Oh my God, he texted me.
On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right. That's the Grubhub guarantee. Grubhub.
Presenting Kia's turbo-infused Sport Tune GT lineup, backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Get 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2022 Forte.
Watch new episodes of Brooklyn Nets Magazine every month on Yes, or stream anytime on the Yes app.
The Yes app is putting the Brooklyn Nets in the palm of your hand. Named Best Mobile Video App, the Yes app is your digital destination for streaming live Nets games. Feed your fandom with features like the Yes Watch Party, Win up to 10 grand for free with Yes Pick and Play, and get your fantasy picks in real time with live game stats. Plus, stream daily highlights and post-game interviews anytime, anywhere. Score big with the Nets on your mobile device. Download the Yes app now.
Right here, baby.
The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
We have the Knick game coming up. Pregame show's at 7. Tip is at 7:30. Games are on TNT. And it leads me perfectly into this bit of news that just broke. Ian Begley reports that Julius Randle has been fined $40,000 for directing hostile language toward an official. Now, Fred Katz, who covers the Knicks for The Athletic, there have been 5 Julius Randle-related fines this season. 15 grand to Randle for kicking the ball in the stands. 25 grand to Randle for cursing an oppressor. 25 grand to the Knicks for not talking to the media. 50 grand to him for the Cam Johnson incident. And 40 grand to him for the Jazz one. It's over $180,000. This guy last year almost seemed too good to be true. He was perfect. We had him on the show. Peter, he was a delight. It looks like he's losing his grasp. What's going on with him?
It's really interesting. I'm trying to think of a comp. I've been thinking that all year. Like, in several ways. Number one, a guy who went from so beloved to so not beloved, and also someone who, like, everyone personality-wise seemed to really enjoy, and then, like, sort of the temperament just got different, and I don't know, man. It hasn't been good. It has not been a good year.
It's a bad look for him, and it's a bad look for the Knicks, who invested over $100 million in a contract extension.
And he's still a damn good player.
And I'm glad you said that, because despite all of this nonsense, if you look at his numbers, he's had a pretty decent year. He's not second team all NBA like he was last year, but he's certainly not a bad player. I think that probably Barrett has surpassed him in terms of importance on the Knicks, but he's still a valuable guy. But he has not made himself look good. He's gotten 11 technicals this year, which is a bad look. And I don't know, maybe it's because of the lack of a point guard on the Knicks. His constant dribbling and mishandling the ball, it's just an awful optic. They can't have him do that. That's the job one for Leon Rose this upcoming offseason. You got to get a decent point guard, and you can't sit there and go, oh, it's going to be Derrick Rose. He's old, he's getting older, and he's injury prone. You can't depend on him to be a starter. You just can't. Even Bear agrees.
Yeah, no, Bear feels strongly about that. And isn't it only right that we get a Bear cough today?
Now, after you rigged the election, let's go to Rob in Long Branch. Rob.
Oh, what's going on, boys? First time, long time.
Oh, welcome aboard. What's up?
Peter, I've been noticing the last couple of days your pictures behind you, and behind your right shoulder there, is that for it looks like a gentleman's club picture.
No, it is not. This is not a gentleman's club.
It says pleasure.
It's pleasure. Yeah. It's the name of a band. In D.C., in Washington, D.C., go-go music is an immensely popular and cultural phenomenon in the D.C. area. And these posters used to be up everywhere, all over the streets of D.C. and Maryland, and I have a couple framed in my house.
Oh, wow. So he was thinking
is not
that
a gentleman's club.
You went with gentleman's club.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's not Mons Venus. It just says pleasure. Let's go to Simon in New Haven. Simon.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I understand the Yanks might be interested in getting that catcher from the Cubs, Wilson Contreras. I had a possible idea for a trade. What about Clark Schmidt and Gleyber Torres for Contreras? And then put LeMahieu back at second.
I don't know if... Well, first of all, the Cubs like Contreras. I mean, I don't think the Yankees could just get him. They like Contreras a lot. Maybe that gets it done, but, he's going to end up making big money, too. I think, Simon, I know Yankee fans don't want to hear it. I think they're very happy with Higashioka and Rortvedt. They really are. They look at the defensive runs that they'll save, and they'll live with what they have to live with when it comes to when it comes to offense, whatever offense they get. But Contreras is really good. I'd like to have him as well. But the Cubs, they're building again, and maybe they look at Contreras somebody that they could build around. I don't know if Glaber and Schmidt would get it. Schmidt's got a high upside, and Glaber, obviously, it's all upside for him now. By the way, congratulations. His wife gave birth to a baby boy yesterday, Ethan Torres. Let's go to Michael in Victor, New York. Hello, Michael.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I love your show. It's the best sports show around.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask about the Yankees rotation because I know we got Cole, Severino, Nestor, Montgomery, Tyone.
Yep.
That's the five that we're looking at. Is there any other people that possibly they could trade for at this moment? I mean, there's not really, like Michael, what you've been saying, but there's no sure things with this high $254 million payroll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Michael, I think they're looking for starters. I think they've been in discussions with the Athletics about Montas and Manaea. It's going to cost a lot to get them. I mean, every team in baseball wants those guys. So we'll see if the Yankees are in on it to the degree that they can get them. Remember one thing: they've got some depth. They've got some young pitchers that they like. They hope to get back Herman at some point. So he's on the 60-day IL. So maybe by June he'll be ready to go. It's going to be a wait and see. Remember, they have a lot in their farm system. So if it comes down to July and they still need a starting pitcher or their starting pitchers are not performing up to what they want, then you can make a move at that point. But I'm still not convinced that they're done now. I think they'd like to bring in a starter. But Tyone looked good yesterday. Nestor Cortez looked good yesterday. Jordan Montgomery is a better pitcher than you give him credit for. A lot rests on whether or not Severino can stay healthy. And then Garrett Cole is Garrett Cole. Major League Baseball Network said that he's the second best starter in baseball after Jacob deGrom. Let's go to Danny in Brooklyn. Danny.
Hey, Michael, big fan.
Thanks.
Been a Yankees fan since I'm 0 years old. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm driving home from work. Had a question long-term on, I guess, somewhat long-term on the Yankees' pen.
Yep.
I feel like it's been a while since they've made some big moves. A couple of years ago it was, this unstoppable force. And now, you got some guys that have been in there for a while.
Yeah, I think they're okay with it now. I mean, I think over the next year or so, Danny, Chapman's contract runs out. Britton's contract runs out. Green could become a free agent as well. So there's certainly some maneuverability there. They've got young arms that they like. Michael King pitched very well out of the bullpen last year. But as for this year, I think they're happy with the people I just mentioned. And Chapman's still going to be the closer. Green can, do what he has to do. Remember, they got the kid from Pittsburgh who pitched out of his mind, and for some reason his name is slipping my mind. Who am I thinking of, Anthony? The kid that they got from Pittsburgh that was great. Clay Holmes, thank you. They've got plenty of arms on the ball. I don't think the bullpen's going to be a problem. The only problem you get is if Chapman has a meltdown like he did last year again, where for 2 months he's ineffective. Then Aaron Boone has to mix and match, and Matt Blake has to mix and match. But I think that this is the last year the Yankee bullpen will look this way. I think it's going to look decidedly different next year, but you worry about 2022 right now. Peter, hope you have a great evening. Stay tuned and watch and listen to the Knicks game, pregame, and if you want the Rangers, that's on 1050. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See you, everybody.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, Man City Soccer. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheard saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.